Hi, this is Earthly Angel coming back at ya.
And this is your girl Righteous Sun. And we are back with our second episode of self-care. So our last episode we realized was a little too long, so we're gonna try and keep it a little short and sweet. We know you're moms and we're always busy. So let's get started.
Yes. So I'm going to be interviewing Rashida today. Okay, so we're going to ask you the first question. What is it you do to overcome stress?
So a major thing for me to overcome stress is I like to take a couple of deep breaths. It's a lot easier if I can have nobody in the house. I really do enjoy silence. That's like my thing. I'll turn everything off if the kids are all gone. No TV, no music, and I will meditate if I'm super stressed or feeling like I've got a little bit more energy and I need to kind of calm down a little bit. But breath is a big one. I will take like at least 3 to 4 breaths if I'm like super stressed out about something and I can't get it right in my head and it's all over the place.
Yeah. I need to breathe more to myself.
Just to take like a whole, like as if you're filling up and then let it all out. I do that, like, okay, it's all right, Rashida. Just take the breath. Everything is going to work out. And in the end, it always does.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so second question. How did you know when you needed to care for yourself more?
I think I realized I needed to care for myself more when I began looking in the mirror and realizing like I wasn't happy with my appearance. And I get that we're all moms and we should take the time to, focus on the kids and give them all the love and everything they need. But at the same time, you were somebody before you were a mom.
Yeah.
And who was that person? Was there a prime time in your life that you kind of felt like I was at my peak or I was at my best? And I had a moment like that before I had kids. Sure. And so I am trying to sort of reenact that and reinvent it in a different way. Now I'm older, so now
I know, we used to be like the hot stuff, right?
Yeah,
and now we're just like...
Yeah, we could care less. We say it's okay to wear tights and, running shoes every day. But, like, there was a moment when I loved putting on makeup and I loved doing my hair and getting my nails done. And a lot of that stuff stopped because I just thought, well, I'm a mom now and that is what I'm supposed to do and I'm supposed to look like. So I shouldn't have to look super fancy dropping the kids off at school. That is a lie. You have all those fancy clothes in your closet for a reason.
And it's funny, we always bump into like everybody that we know when we look really terrible. Right?
Yeah.
Like the grocery store when you're wearing like hot sweatpants and your hair's like a total mess, no makeup, no filter, and you just look like crap. And somehow, some way, everybody you know stops you in the grocery store.
Yeah, I've definitely been there. Yeah, right. And you know what? Something that's always stuck with me is that my mom has always said, it doesn't matter what you look like in the house, Rashida, but when you step outside, make sure you look presentable enough because you never know who you're going to see.
Yeah.
And I have always taken that with me. I'll have my hot mess days, but then I'll wear a baseball cap.
Oh, so I'm like a hot mess all the time.
Like a baseball cap is low, or I'm in sunglasses if I'm like too lazy to do the eyebrows and the whole thing. Yeah. Huge sunglasses, and those don't come off my face, even inside.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what do you feel you could change in your life to focus more on yourself?
I think I could give myself more credit. I think that's a big one. I'm really hard on myself, and I feel like I could give myself, I deserve more credit in the end from myself, not really from others. I do kind of seek that from the outside, like, am I doing good, Mom? Am I, you know, making you proud, family? And in the end, they already feel like that, but then at the same time, it is always temporary when it's outside of yourself. You have to feel that. You have to feel that you've earned it, you deserve it, you were worthy of it,
you're proud of yourself.
Yeah, you're proud of yourself. So that's something that I think I could work on more.
I think we all can do that.
Yeah,
just a little bit, because we always look for other people's opinions, and to that, like, to you, it means a lot, right? When you hear like, oh, good job, things like that, but you don't hear often enough. So it's good to have that, but I totally get what you mean.
Yeah, because eventually, you know, even though those words are there, those people go home at the end of the day. And when they go home at the end of the day and those words have been said, are you still carrying that with you? Most likely you might be, but on the other hand, you might not be, because it was only short-lived. And you can go right back into your thoughts of saying, I'm not good enough. Maybe I could have done something more. I've had habits of doing that, like big time.
Yeah.
Totally. I could totally admit that I have done that before, where I'm like, well, maybe I could have, or, you know, maybe this isn't a good idea, right? Yeah. Even after everybody's like, no, keep it up, keep doing it. So I need to be gentle.
Less self-critical.
Yeah.
Yes. Because we're our biggest critics. Okay, so how can you say no to others without feeling guilty? This one's a big one, and I know everyone's feeling this way because I do all the time. So please share.
Feeling, how do you say no? You gotta know, it's a tough one. I could say that you have to know how worthy you are to yourself. Like, how much do you love yourself? To be able to know when it is time to say no and to set boundaries. It comes down to having a relationship with yourself. You know, people are like, I love myself. I think that's good, but I also think it's a little bit on the surface. When you fall in love with yourself, then you know what you're willing to take and what you're not willing to take. Like, then you can actually start to pinpoint it. When you fall in love with yourself, you actually start to realize when things is actually crap, like in a relationship or dealing with any situation where you're like, this doesn't feel right. Rather than you second guessing it and then saying, well, maybe it might be this, and then you get screwed over in the end and you're like, dang, I really did sort of feel like it was this, but I still chose to go the opposite direction and it didn't work out for me. So I can only say, really, is to start falling in love with yourself. And that's the only way you can say no, really, and without feeling the guilt in the end. We're always going to feel guilty. It's if you hold on to the guilt is what sucks. You can still feel guilty, right? You're still human, like, wow, you know, I really wanted to buy that for, you know, my son or my daughter, but really you were only there for yourself. And that's okay, and you should be there for yourself. Kids get a lot of stuff. We give them a lot of stuff. In the 80s, I didn't get anything. I try to give my kids as much as possible now, and maybe more than they actually need, because then they feel like, give me more. And then you kind of also show your kids that you're not worthy, right? So if you are always giving to them and pleasing them, but you're not pleasing yourself, you're actually showing them how to treat you, right? So that's something that I learned from somebody as well, is that you got to treat yourself the way you would want others to treat you, so that they can at least see that, right?
And that's boundaries.
And that, right? And that's having those boundaries. And it's a good thing to teach the kids those boundaries too, because then they'll feel they can walk all over it, and then they'll take that into other relationships as they get older, and they learn everything from us. So love yourself more. And that's nothing towards them. That's actually a benefit towards everybody. Because when you give yourself all of that, then you have more energy. You come back more refreshed and more rejuvenated. I know I feel like that when I go out or bye, kids. I would feel really bad walking out of the door, because they would be like, but mommy, don't leave me. I'm like, I'm coming back the same night. Like, you're just like saying, you'll see me in the morning, but like, where am I going?
Right.
So they would make me feel to that point where I would sometimes say, I don't need to go out. No, you need to show them that you're still a human being, and just like they get to go to their friends' houses and hang out, you get to do the exact same thing.
And they'll get over it in 10 minutes anyway.
It's very true.
Because they always change their mind every second.
It's very true.
They only want you when you're not there.
Yeah.
When you're there, they don't want nothing to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Okay, so how can others be more mindful of their needs? Like if you were to give them advice, what could they do?
Listen to your body is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's hard for people to be in a quiet state where they are not thinking and no music and nothing there. I know it is tough sometimes for a lot of people to sit and meditate. Mm-hmm. But that is the moment when you get to get out of your head and start listening to the way your body is reacting. Mm-hmm. Your body reacts to your thoughts, really. And so when you're angry or you're stressed, your body reacts to that in a negative way. Either your body hurts or you get mm-hmm. sore or your stomach doesn't feel good. Yeah. Those are cues that your thoughts might be a little negative, right? Stress and all of that stuff and anxiety is on the negative spectrum. Mm-hmm. And loving yourself and happiness and joy and pleasure is on the positive side of the spectrum. Mm-hmm. So when you have good thoughts, how do you feel, right? When you fall in love with somebody, your heart starts to flutter more. You feel like you're a fairy and you can conquer the world with this person. You feel like it's a lighter feeling. Mm-hmm. So that's a big thing. Listen to how you feel, and then you'll be able to recognize your thoughts, right? If I'm super stressed or I'm angry, my heart's gonna race like crazy. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna get like tingly feeling all over. I'm hot. I'm definitely gonna be short-tempered. Mm-hmm. I'm in my head, so if my kids are trying to ask me a question, I will definitely be short-tempered with them because I'm in this part and I'm not present with them. Mm-hmm. So a big thing is to be present as well. Mm-hmm. That's one of the hardest things, even though it is the simplest thing to do, is to stay present and get off of the crazy horse. So you can get stressed and it's okay, but then when you get on the stress horse and the horse is running and you're on there and you don't want to get off, know that that's not going to lead you down like the best path going forward. Mm-hmm. You're just going to lose track. So it's okay to have those emotions and those feelings. We are normal and we are human. Just don't carry it with you because then it turns into something more.
For sure. Okay, well, we're going to pack it up, but before we do, we're going to talk a little bit about what you do because we like to emphasize that. So you said that you're a Reiki healer and you work with children doing yoga. Can you talk a little bit more about that? I'm sorry, the cat just had something stuck.
Yeah, the cat had something stuck on its behind, so we're a little distracted by that.
Oh my god.
It finally came off. Okay. The things that happen. Yes, I am a Reiki healer, and Reiki is a holistic method or a holistic healing practice where we focus on healing the chakra system. And it's basically chakras, it's all energy. So when we go out in our everyday lives, we absorb any type of energy, whether it's positive or negative. And because we are very sensitive beings, whether you realize it or not, we have a tendency of absorbing those energies and bringing them back to our households, which in turn can spread to the rest of the household as well. So my job is to sort of detoxify that with my guides, my spiritual guides, as well as the spiritual guides of my clients who come and see me. And with that, it just gets a chance for you to balance yourself back out mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, which allows all of the good stuff to flow in. So I get rid of the yucky stuff so that the good stuff can come in.
Perfect.
And
do you have a site for your Reiki that you do?
I do. You can go to www.righteoussun.co and you can see all of my services that I provide. I do it all throughout the GTA and along with being a kids yoga teacher. I do that throughout different schools throughout the GTA, teaching them mindfulness and meditation and how to self-regulate themselves in the everyday environment.
Beautiful, beautiful. We're going to add the little ending with your website so you can follow Righteous Sun. That's about it. It wraps it up. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys next week.